Hey everyone, hope you're having a blessed day. Welcome to Turn It Up with the Tarnoskys.
Welcome!
This is our Family Dynamic Week edition. So we're going to be doing classes every single day. Oh yeah? Is that you getting excited or are you mad? Oh, somebody's getting...
I want to be in the video.
Somebody's feeling left out. Hold on. Speaking of family.
Family inclusion. So it is Family Week, like Josh said. And today's topic is what is happening right now.
Guys, I found a ghost.
There's a ghost here.
I found a friendly ghost. Woo! Found a friendly ghost.
It's like,
oh,
Jonathan!
She made a friendly man.
Hey, David, offended you.
How's it going, buddy?
So our topic today is what to do with your if your family doesn't understand. Let's move that candle.
I'm watching.
Okay.
We live dangerously.
I can tell.
Don't touch that.
What to do if your family doesn't understand your dreams and desires and how to get them on board.
That's good. Yeah, especially when you really have something big on your heart, or you've been going for something big, like maybe it's a career, maybe it's a job or a business, maybe it's just making a difference in the world, and you feel like you're supposed to be doing it, but you don't have the support, the love, the smells good.
I know. I put special Young Living essential oils in there, Jay. I'm glad you can smell them.
And what we find, let me get my notes real quick.
This one doesn't have a scent.
So
this is a crystal.
There's going to be 3 areas that we're really going to be touching on in this whole entire topic today. I don't want to smash that one, so be careful.
Okay.
The first thing we're going to be talking about is how to really express your vision in a powerful way that inspires people. So that gets people like activated, enrolled, wanting to be a part of it, even if they don't really know exactly what it is you do or you're going to be doing, but they can feel the energy of it, right? It's going to help them just be stoked. This is what a big part of getting the family to support you is. Like any great business person, any great visionary has to get people enrolled in the vision. So we're going to be talking about from that angle today. Second thing is going to be how to communicate with your family or the people that you want to have maybe have more approval from, so that they can really understand where you're coming from, you can understand where they're coming from, and you can get fears. See, when people have fears, they don't really express themselves truthfully a lot of times, especially in our society these days. So allowing that to be a point of communication to see your differences and create success. Wow, crystal game is strong.
Super strong.
And the third thing, we're going to teach you how to have self-approval. Because you know what? Screw that. I need other people's approval. Screw that. Right now?
Wouldn't it be so much easier if you could just give it to yourself?
Yeah, you don't need other people to approve you.
That's
you don't even need approval. You just need to go do it. Game on. So we're going to be covering that today. And this topic is really powerful for 2 reasons. One, Steph's in my vision and our dream is to really, is to bring together our family to be a healthy, functioning, dynamic, family dynamic that we can show the world how this works. It's not always easy for us as a family, with the 3 of us, or even our extended family, to be able to be on the same page, and communicate, and all deal with our emotions and our fears and our desires and our excitement and all these things. But there's a way to do it where it's healthy and it helps everybody grow. And there's a way to do it that's not so healthy, and that's what a lot of people struggle with. So one vision for that is for us to really go forward and be that vision for the world. So that's why we're so passionate about this. And the other thing is we see so many people, when they understand what we're going to talk about today, we see so many people just reach their highest goals and make the biggest impacts in the world and make change, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, even women in your weight loss courses, when they learn this piece, their weight falls off.
Mm-hmm.
People in our business experiences, excuse me, I got a little cold. Their businesses just skyrocket, their careers open wide up. I mean, it's amazing how many people just find the careers of their dreams when they can really tap into these principles we're talking about today. And then, of course, relationships get way, way better on every level. Way like protein, or way like
yay.
Oh, yay? Yay way?
Yeah.
Yahweh, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
Say,
I love you. I love you. I love you.
He's like, I'm on TV, Mom.
Oh my God, this is awesome.
Like, we gotta share this with the world. We're gonna take a little edit of this and put it out there.
Oh, I'm so cute.
We should do that and do a little snippet and be like, this is what you're missing. Turn up and turn up.
It's like a meme. I know. Thank you.
So, Steph and I have both been to this journey. I mean, as you all know, if you've been following us for the last almost decade now, we have both been in places where we've stepped into the uncomfortable zones, what we like to call the uncomfortable zones. And we really, followed our hearts, the visions, the images, the feelings, the beliefs that God's put on our heart of our mission, our purpose, that our soul came to this earth to carry out on this earth. And sometimes that, well, I'll speak to what I've experienced. It's kind of wild, but I think we've been doing this for like almost a decade. And it wasn't until a month ago that Steph's parents actually understood what we do. Like, they've always been supportive of us, but I don't think they've ever really approved of what we do or like really been like, you guys got this, like, go do it, because they didn't know.
Yeah, I would say like it wasn't that they didn't approve, but like they didn't know what it was exactly we were doing. So they were like in that in-between kind of part.
They had a weird energy about it. And her dad would get so frustrated because he was like the kind of guy that always liked to say like, hey, my daughter's, a senior something specialist at something. She's in line to become the COO. And, he was like going to that kind of language around what Steph and I did. But like, he was always like, well, I don't know. They're out there changing lives and just having fun, but he always knew we were following our hearts. So that's where we did have that more approval than a lot of people have. But it was just, we've been through that, and for me and my side, like, I actually had to leave where I grew up because it just wasn't a healthy environment for me to explore what I truly wanted to do in my life. And so, having been where I grew up for 28 years and then literally, which is Kentucky, and then literally moving to California pretty much overnight and just getting into a whole new environment, a whole new culture, it was weird. I mean, people were like, dude, like, I left a really, really fantastic popular business, just decided to close it down because I no longer felt that was my calling, that was my purpose. And people were like, bro, you're crazy. Like, what are you doing? Like, why would you leave this? And there was about 2 years of my life. There was about 2 years of my life where I didn't even know what I was doing. I just was following the breadcrumbs that, God was putting visions in my heart, ideas in my heart, and just having to go and walk in faith. And so that's where I think most people, I notice, really see a big gap is like there's this faith element to your big visions and dreams that sometimes you can't fully even explain to people. So how do you get people to, in your family or in your like peer group, to really understand these wild, crazy visions you're stepping into, right? I know that resonates with you. Mm-hmm. Are you just playing with the little monkey right now?
Just admiring the monkey.
Yeah, so I was going to tell a little bit more of a story about it with our first point here, but if you want to say anything else before you dive into it.
Go for it.
So I'm a big believer that, most people, when we talk about people not being supported or having the approval of their family or their friends about like them pursuing their big dreams or visions or not living a normal lifestyle, a traditional lifestyle, I'll say, I'm a big believer that there's many different angles to approach this from. But the angle that I want to talk about right now is that you're a visionary. You're a leader. You're somebody who is following the words of God, the feelings of God that's in your heart, that your soul came to this earth, whatever you believe in this world, your soul came to do. And so when you have that calling, that position, that energy, whether you're in a career or whether you have a business you want to start or like a philanthropic thing, whatever it is, you are a leader, you're a visionary. And it can be tough to like have that ability to be in like a family dynamic and be such a visionary. And when the family doesn't necessarily have that same feeling about their life or a calling, you feel like the black sheep. And so I think first step is like within this idea of getting people to get very confident and enrolled and excited about your vision and supportive. It takes you, first step, identifying that you are a visionary and really knowing that and coming to terms with that. Because the more you can do that, you'll start to feel better about it. You'll stop feeling like this black sheep who's like outcast, and you'll feel like this unique outlier who's just guiding the way, blazing the trail. And when you can accept that, it's much different than feeling like the outcast. Do you see the difference there? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, huge difference.
Yeah. My nose is so sniffly today. Something in the air out there. Because I sneezed like 3 times when I got out.
I think it's something looming, maybe.
Like some other lady was sneezing as she was walking. I'm like, what's going on?
Oh, you know what? They just cleaned the roofs. This whole week they're cleaning all the roofs off.
How did they tell us that?
They did. They texted us and gave us a letter.
I didn't get that. I would have left. Anyways, I know I got time for that. So the other part of this is that letter B within this point is that you always want to learn as a visionary and a leader to be very enrolling and very captivating about your vision and confident and certain. And that's what we do at our high level coaching, is help people get clarity around their vision so they can express it to people. You know, a lot of people don't know what they're doing in their vision. They have this calling on their heart, a big calling. They don't know what it is, but they just know they're supposed to take some action. But there's still things within that you can extract and make almost as like a mini presentation for people that you can even say in a sentence or two that just gets people excited, especially your parents. There's ways to market things, to say things all different ways that aren't just like, well, you know, I'm going to live in this van and do some social media work and see what happens. It's like, no, there's ways to spin that to be like, I'm going to go travel the world. I'm going to go see people in unique cultures. I'm going to help people. I'm going to bring diversity to different places, whatever, to bridge gaps. You know, you can say it in a more appealing way where people are like, oh, wow, I want that. I want to be part of that.
Yeah, because, I mean, the real reason you went into it is because it is a very appealing thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Jonathan, one last bite. You went into it because it's appealing. So if you can communicate, like, the real reasons why you actually went into it,
yeah,
they'll understand. But it's just in that weird in-between where we don't know what to say or don't know how to say it that it kind of gets, like, people don't understand.
Yeah. And that's really good point, Steph, you know? It's like...
Thanks, Joshua.
Sometimes there's just a lack of awareness of what is really happening. And so when we help people get clear, we have clients that have been struggling in their business for maybe 2 years because all their peers or all their family doesn't even know what's going on. And when they get that clarity or that certainty about what they're doing, it's like their profits skyrocket, their community builds around their business, their confidence grows, and they just get a direction. And they go. And that automatically kind of brings people into this like group think. When a leader and a visionary walks their path with certainty, chest up, head up, ready to go, people just follow, even if they don't know what the hell they're doing. People will follow. It's like a natural human trait. So
it's also an energy.
It is. And so we need to do this within our families and like be that leader, step into that and have that boldness, have that certainty. Even if people are like, I don't know, that sounds kind of weird, be like, I got this.
Water?
Does that make sense to you all? I think it's a really important thing. And I don't know if you have any stories you want to talk about with that, like maybe on your own journey, how you had to step into a different world. I mean, your parents always seem like they're very supportive of you, but they also were very interested in you having like stable income and different things for a long time.
Yeah, there's a story I always tell my clients because I find that a lot of people struggle with the issue of how to get your family members on board when they want something else for your life and they want to tell you how to do your life and live your life. And I talk about, me becoming an entrepreneur. Yeah. And deciding to start my own business. It was one of those things where in the beginning, my parents were kind of like, I'm not really sure what you do, but, go do it. My dad always wanted me to be happy and, live a great life and follow my heart. That was one thing he always told me to do. So I did, but, and he was happy I was doing that, but he wasn't quite sure what exactly I was doing. Online business was a totally new thing at the time. So, Josh, can you pull Jonathan? Online business was a new thing at the time. And, I can't remember. I'm like distracted by this little man. This cute little man. Yes, there's so many things he's about to do and tear down. Thank you. So I started the online business. I got really focused on doing it. My parents were like, cool, don't know what you do, don't know what to tell my friends you do, but go for it. And my dad was constantly wanting to be able to tell people what I did and what my business was. But like I said, online business was brand new. Like people didn't do courses online and things like that. I was like in that first generation of people who started doing those things. So it wasn't like, oh, she's a doctor, or oh, she's a nurse, or, whatever, something that people have heard of and knew what it was.
Yeah.
So, you just kind of rolled with it. And then after that, he the next phase he went into, he was kind of like, okay, Steph, well, I still don't know what you do, but every day you seem to keep getting happier and happier. So I'm about it. I'm on board.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's cool. But I still really wish he knew what I was doing or understood it. But I just rolled with it. And then eventually it got to a point where he's like, oh, I know exactly what you guys do. This is awesome. This is so great. And look at how you just keep getting happier every day. And that's the point, is that the people who love you and care about you, they really do want to just see you happy, but they only know their way of being happy. So they're going to always tell you what they think will make you happy. However, they can never know what will make you happy ever, because only you can know what would make you happy. You are coded with a specific dream, desire inside of your heart, and no one else has it. So nobody else can tell you what decisions you should make, what life you should live, what career choice you should make, who you should date, any of these things, anything about your life, what you should wear. So to trust their opinion, you would end up not making yourself happy and doing it to make them happy. And they wanted you to do it so that you would be happy, but you're not happy. So then you're not happy, and then in turn they're not happy because you're not happy. So it ends up that everybody loses. And if you follow your heart, they might not understand what you're doing for a long time, but they're going to see that each day you keep getting happier, which is that point that my dad reached where he was like, I still don't know what you do, but I noticed that every day you get happier, and I love that. So he was like, you are doing whatever you're doing it right. So keep going. Because he just wanted to see me happy.
That's cool.
And to be like a CEO of, a Fortune 500 company or a doctor or something like that, none of those things would have actually made me happy.
Yeah.
So if I had done those, I wouldn't, I probably wouldn't hear him calling and saying, I see how happy you are. He'd probably be like, good job, way to achieve those things. But it wouldn't be him saying, and I just see you getting happier and happier every day.
Sure. I think that's a good point you bring up of when we talk about your big dreams or visions and people supporting you, we're talking about every aspect of your life. We're talking about your health and your happiness. We're talking about your relationship with your spouse, partners, whatever. We're talking about your career. We're talking about your finances. Like visions and dreams come in many different styles. It's not just one big one, So when we talk about this, we apply it to everything. And I know Steph's talking about where she even lived. The big dream was hers was to move to California.
Yeah.
And leave Pennsylvania. And for me, I didn't quite have that stark of a contrast. I just ended up in California based on my desires to change something. But for Steph, it was very much I'm gonna leave, and she had to make that break from her family at some point. She talks about how she could have stayed through. It was very easy because she left around November. She could have stayed through the holidays and then been like, I'll try to go in spring, and just would have kept going, right? Yeah. So she had to make that decision and really adhere to that. And so she had to enroll her family in, hey, I'm going to leave for the holidays, and really get them excited about her going on their journey, right? Yeah.
The holidays and beyond.
Yeah. And so it was if you can imagine, you're used to being with your parents all the time, your family. Some of you have been you're either really close to your mom or dad or aunt and uncle, whatever, or grandparents. And it would just be so hard to just move across the country. And then you probably will only see them once a year, if that, for the next couple of years. If that was the kind of scenario we were in. And, for us, we had to really get people excited about what we were doing and just trust ourselves. And I think that's what this all comes down to, is realizing as a CEO, as a visionary, as a leader, as somebody who's just got a big vision, a big goal, and big dreams in mind, you have to just trust yourself first. And you have to really get excited about enrolling people in what you're doing, because there's going to be people that are going to pull you one way or the other. But it's not for you to sit there and worry about. It's for you to check in with you internally and say, what do I want? So getting clear on your vision. And if you don't know how to do that right away, then you can come back into that state of, what do I want? What is my heart telling me? What is my soul telling me? And then when you go into that, I'm going to take action on it, and then you find out that's not what your friends or family want, then you got to keep coming back into what I want, right? And so I think that's the biggest takeaway from this first point, is knowing what you want and then getting really excited about it and just enrolling people in it.
And fully commit to it.
Yeah, commitment is enrolling. When you are committed to something, when you said, I'm going to California, people are like, hey, we're not sure what the hell you're doing. We're going to support you.
Yeah.
You know, and there was like no going back.
And they were like, oh, are you sure you want to go? And I was like, yes, I am committed. I'm going. There wasn't like a, maybe, I don't know. I was like, I've decided this is a really tough decision for me, but I know I got to follow my heart, and I'm going.
Yeah. And I think that energy is contagious itself. Like, people love that. So a lot of times we come from the perception is that really the biggest issue with us following our dreams and goals. Sometimes we think we need to get approval or be given something in a sense of like a guidance or direction to do the things we want to do. But what I want to highlight is if it's already in your heart to do it, then freaking go do it. And just know that like that's enough approval and enough certainty to go do something like that.
Yeah.
So Steph really kind of bridged us into that next topic of how to communicate with your family or the people you want to get on board, right? Because it's not just enough to like say, I'm going to go do this and then just leave. You don't want to piss people off. You want to be on your team.
Right. There is a huge difference between saying, I'm going to do this thing, fuck you, and I'm going to go do this thing for me. I want you to be on board. You might not understand it, but, I'd love for you to be happy for me and support me.
Exactly. To really ask them to just like, even if they don't fully agree, to at least just respect it and just like give you that space to explore. And people always, I don't care who you are, unless you're like Scrooge, and even Scrooge was turned around, as we all saw in that movie. People are obsessed with people following their hearts.
Yeah,
it's like the number one seller at the box office when it comes to a movie. That's why people go watch movies. People following their hearts, their dreams, their passions. We're obsessed with it as a society.
Yeah.
Right? So no matter what culture we're talking about, this has been a thing. So what that translates to in communication with your family.
That's the JV toy.
It is brilliant.
The cap on the pen or the cap on the straw.
Yeah, he's so smart. What that translates to when you're talking to these people is that you get to really express what's in your heart, what's on your heart, and the feelings of it. And so like what comes up for me around this topic is that a lot of people are probably like, the first analogy that comes to my scenario is like a lot of my friends had families that wanted them to be doctors. They're like, you're going to be a doctor when you get older. And these people, some of them wanted to be artists. They wanted to like literally be an artist. And there's like this, belief that they're going to be starving artists according to their family, and their family like doesn't even want to talk to them. Their mom was like pissed that they didn't want to follow their father's footsteps or whatever it was.
The doctor dream was the jam growing up for me.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Not for me personally, but like all the parents.
All
like,
people
be a
around
doctor,
you.
be a doctor.
Yeah, that's pretty common. You're right. And so, it's like maybe the parents aren't going to fully understand it, right? But in that example, when that person sits down, is like, all I do is think about being an artist. I have these visions, I have these dreams. And when you talk about that in a place, like, it makes me feel so good inside. It brings smiles to my face. Tears to my eyes when I think about it. It warms my soul. It's like, that's a really powerful way to communicate that, right? And then on the flip side, you need to give them a chance to tell what they're experiencing, what their fears are. Not just like in an angry way, like, why can't I be an artist? Why do you want me to be a doctor? Blah, blah, blah. That's not how the conversation needs to go. It needs to go like, hey, I hear you and I love you so much. You always want to kind of take responsibility and tell them that you love them. I love you so much for just wanting the best.
So important to remind people that you love them when you're having a conversation that's...
Yeah. Because that...
I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, like almost like a healthy confrontation.
Yeah.
It's like a communication that's going to really change the dynamic of your friendship or your relationship.
Yeah, because when the energy changes, that's when people start to forget that the person talking to them actually loves them.
Mm-hmm. Steph's really good at that. She's really good at drawing the line whenever she's in a conversation. If she feels attacked, she's all like, you don't love me?
I thought you were giving me a compliment.
No, I was calling you up. You're up. Steph gets really defensive.
I do. I forget. Like, I was like raised to think that way. So.
And I get
society raised me like that.
Well, I think Steph has just always picked on a lot in those type of conversations, to where it was like she wasn't given the chance to really express herself. So the minute somebody brings up the topic that she's going to be like confronted on what isn't normal or out of the box, she automatically feels like she's going to get like attacked for it.
Yeah.
So she's instantly in a defense mode. Whereas like I'm a little more diplomatic. And I'm like, hey, you know, like maybe we can try this way. And I'm like, well, I hadn't thought of that before, but next thing you know, they're doing what I want. So it's this. There's different approaches, you know. Steph's got that power, but she's a little bit more like, you know, cut and dry, as they say, when it comes to like it's either this way or that way.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not the way she feels good about, she draws a line. And so I'm actually saying this kind of like.
I would say I'm evolving out of that though.
Oh, you've gotten really good, yeah. Just in our past, that was like an area that we struggle with.
It used to be really intense.
Yeah. It's like I see things in a gray area towards multiple things, and stuff is kind of like, if you don't accept me for this, and I'm drawing this line, you know, and it's not shit she meant to, it just kind of happened energetically.
Yeah, and one hack that we always give our like relationship clients is this works for some people, not all, but you can tell the other person that we're on the same team.
Yeah.
So you can apply this to your family conversations too. It's like, hey, I'm going to present this information. You might not love it, but I just also want to tell you as we're discussing it that we are on the same team and I love you.
Yeah.
That'll help a lot.
Yeah. I wasn't done setting that up yet. But,
oh, you were about to say that?
Well, I'm trying to get so they're not just throwing everything out at once. I'm trying to like set them up to where they can even have the initial conversation piece. So before you say all this,
pretend like you didn't hear any of that.
No, that's good. It's
we'll
good.
Tell it to you again.
We're just kind of like blobbing it at you. I wanted to have some structure. So what I mean is like when you're having this first conversation, in the very beginning, you want to sit with them, right? And you want to give them a chance to express what's on their heart, what's coming up for them, what's their fears. And you see, you don't want to be like, why won't you let me be a doctor? Or why do you want me to be a doctor? Why don't you let me be an artist? You don't want to come out like that. You want to come out like, hey, I love you. And I really am grateful that you care about me and you want the best for me. Because we all know that that's the reason that somebody would want you to do something different, is they ultimately want the best for you, especially if it's your parents. Right? So that's their entire approach. As Steph said, what is their form of happiness?
Mm-hmm. And I have to say this, that like even the most intense scenarios where the parents, you're like, no, they couldn't want the best for me. That's such a messed up situation, what they want from me. If you really got down to it and cracked them open and really got to the core of why they're doing something, you would realize they actually are doing it to try and like save you pain or make your life better, even if it's in a really weird way.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're going to get through this structure. You know, Steph's going to keep on and elaborate.
You're welcome, because these nuggets are valuable.
Oh, they are valuable. I just like to keep starting over again. So once you get to that place of like acknowledging that you love them and you appreciate them for wanting your best interest, the next step is really, hey, I want you to tell me, you know, what is it that you truly fear? Or what is it that you, that scares you about me being an artist per se? You know, what are the reasons that you want me to be a doctor? And they're usually going to tell you exactly what Steph is saying. Like, well, I want you to be stable. I want you to have finances. I don't want you to struggle like I did. I want you to, you know, be happy, blah, 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 blah.
Usually it's to avoid the pain that they experience.
Yeah. And so when you can start to see it from that person's point of view, and a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, it literally is just letting them express this and it all goes away. Like once they get it out and they know that you have this awareness, they kind of just like shut up and forget about it. Like I've seen this happen a lot where then finally they're like, you know what, I appreciate you listening to me. Because what's crazy is most parents actually want approval from their kids.
Yeah.
The parents think that's their role to kind of like guide the kids, but in a deep psychological level, if the kid doesn't approve of what the parent's saying, is like, screw you, it kind of shoots them back to this childhood state of like their parents not listening to them. And they get all like huffy and puffy about it, right? And I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, you're gonna listen to me. So it's kind of a reverse psychology and a very constructive conversation to say, hey, you know, what's coming up to you? Why are you afraid? What do you want from me? And then, as Steph said, you can always kind of like lace that back in with, I just want you to know, mom or dad, like we're on the same team. You know, like we are doing this together. And I think that's so perfect when you say that. The way you talk about that, like Steph used to do that with me to really. When I would get defensive or my ego would kick in and be like, I'm frustrated, I'm angry. I just want her to like shut up and listen to me. You know, I don't want her to dominate this conversation. But she'd be like, yes, we're on the same team. It's cool. We're best friends. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, you're not some crazy woman trying to like attack me with your opinion. You're like, you want what's best for me too.
Yeah. It's easy to forget in a conversation like that the other person wants what's best for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the most important part of all this is keeping that in mind as you go forward in the conversation. And so once you get to that place where you kind of know that that person wants what's best for you, then you start to recognize that like they're going to say things like what we said a minute ago, like I'm scared for you, I want you to have safety, security, whatever it might be, right? And at the end of the day, what really supports this to grow is like you get to be the person who says, look, I know you're scared, I know that this doesn't make sense to you right now, but trust me, I have this, like this is what makes me happy. You know, and I know that you've worked super hard for me, and you always want to appreciate these people. I appreciate you so much for everything you've done for me and for the person that you are. But what I need more than anything, what will make me truly happy, and this is where you kind of like, this is like the checkmate. What will make me truly happy is just to have your support and your blessing. That's what I want as my mom or my dad. You know, and even then, even if they're like, I just don't want you to do it, they still know that deep inside, that's their job, their role as a parent.
Mm-hmm. I know that in some circumstances, people will need time to think about it. And then even if they don't approve right away, they can come back and tell you, hey, I thought about it. Yeah. Even the most unexpected circumstances, hey, I thought about it and I want to let you know I support you.
Yeah.
You know, it can happen. Good. Like just there's so many variables and so many variations of how this can happen for you. Yes. Just like always seek the best one. I know that you're worthy of the best thing happening. And if it doesn't happen the best way, don't blame yourself or shame yourself or guilt yourself.
Yep.
Know that it's going to work out for you. It might not be working out how you think it's supposed to right here, right now, but it will make sense in reverse. Like it'll make sense to you later.
What's a good psychology point that I would drop in is like, even though a lot of people don't have this kind of psychological awareness, but can you speak there a little bit? Mm-hmm. Even though you don't have awareness of like this principle, but some of you might study psychology, when you say something to somebody, even if it pisses them off or triggers them, it kind of implants seeds in their mind. And so like Steph's saying, psychologically, physiologically, scientifically, a day or two later, it will kind of become their own idea. Mm-hmm. Like humans like to be in control and make it their own idea. So they'll probably come back around, she's saying.
Yeah.
Because you've planted that seed. So don't be afraid to plant seeds and maybe get even a little resistance. That usually means you're starting to break walls down.
Yeah.
So don't, again, it's when you start to call yourself, you start to label the things that are happening versus be afraid of what's happening. It's much easier to be like, oh yeah, I see how my mom or dad's reacting. They're scared right now. They're angry, but they're actually just wanting the best for me. So these seeds are going to plant and the steps that will come back around.
Yeah. Just like with relationship coaching, we always remind our clients that it's your perception that matters. If you are perceiving that you getting in an argument means that your relationship is like doomed, then your relationship will be doomed. If you look at it like your arguments in a relationship are making you guys stronger and help you grow, it will make you stronger and help you grow. So if you're in this conversation with a loved one and they're not reacting how you want them to react, don't assign a negative meaning to it. Don't make it mean that it's not working or something's wrong or whatever. Just go, okay, this is good. We're growing. We are evolving. It's okay. They didn't respond how I ideally wanted, but we're growing. This is a growing thing. Assign a positive meaning if you're going to assign any meaning to it.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think all that being said, the third thing that's really important here, and this is the most crucial for anything, it's like the biggest life lesson, is it's not so much important to even have people's approval. You know, kind of like linking this back around to the beginning, you don't need anybody's self-approval. And when you start to take leadership or you start to take action on your big dream and vision with confidence and certainty and you get clarity and you do it, guess what? People will follow you. So by approving yourself and not looking for your parents' approval and just going for it and not even like sitting there deliberating, like, do they approve of me? They're not even giving a shit about it. Don't even play in that energy. When you start to self-approve yourself, magic will happen 10 times faster and better and more fun. So I think self-approval is the key here. And so many people we work with struggle with that. Us included, we struggled with that for a long time. Mm-hmm. You know, that was the reason why I didn't leave Kentucky for almost probably 8 years too long. I should have left when I was 20. But I didn't have the approval from my parents and some of my peer group to feel confident to leave. Finally, when like shit was hitting the fan for me, like, emotionally and spiritually, and just wasn't in a happy place, I had nowhere else to go. I was like, I just gotta leave. And it was at that point, everybody came around in my life. It was like, you can't go, we love you, all this stuff. And of course, I appreciated that, but I knew that I didn't need their approval any longer to go become the person I wanted to become. I had to just go do it, regardless of what they were saying, and a lot of people were frustrated and hurt and scared, but like, I just like, this is time. I got to do it. And that's what I would have told 21-year-old Josh, looking back now, not that I'm regretting staying longer, but, that's helped me take this lesson in my life now, that when I have these moments of like, gosh, I need to do it, and I just don't quite know if I'm ready. It's like, no, I am ready. I give myself the approval. I'm going to do it. And I think there's some steps to that. And Steph has some good quick overview. You're talking about ways to identify if you need more self-approval earlier. What's that all about?
Ways to know that
or like just having the awareness around this process. Like you were talking about a specific process that you would walk somebody through. Not so much in depth, but just the overview. Like even start. How do you even start developing self-approval?
I think it's just really, I think what I wanted to say was that there's this like foundation that needs to be built for self-approval. And it's knowing that we are taught from a young age to not approve of ourselves and to take other people's opinions as more important and more valuable than our own opinion, especially our opinion of ourselves.
It's a really good point.
So it's kind of like you're going against everything you've been taught to approve of yourself versus seek it from the people around you and the people outside of you and the people you love.
Yep.
So if there's like some weirdness and some weird energies and some weird emotions around it, don't be hard on yourself. This is like you're breaking through something that has been like deeply ingrained in you. But know that you're taking your own advice is the best feeling thing in the world. So once you start doing it, you'll start realizing it feels great to do it, and you'll want to do it more because it feels way better than taking someone else's opinion of what they think you should do. Yeah.
And I think it's going to echo some of that and elaborate a little bit. Psychologically, did you say humans are designed to seek approval based on our conditioning as children?
Yes.
Yeah. So like we see this as like parents train us to be like seeking approval to do something. And so just having that awareness and starting to write down like the areas where you have been maybe seeking approval in your life in the past or taught to seek approval will help you start to identify where you're doing this in your life. That's a big thing we teach people. And once you start practicing that, because when you notice the areas you do that, start practicing just approving of yourself in these moments and trusting that you made the right decision. That's when it starts to feel different. You can feel that vibration, right? You can feel the vibration of when you like want to be approved for something. You don't feel fully great when somebody says good job or yeah, that's okay. You feel kind of like off versus like getting that approval inside and feeling like certainty, confidence, like alignment, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's really the best feeling in the world when you follow what you know you're supposed to do. There are the other feelings of the emotions of like, oh my God, but this person's gonna not approve of what I'm doing, or this person's gonna tell me I'm making the wrong decision. So there's those little things, but on the inside, the best feeling ever is like, I'm following my heart. Like you're talking about the example of like somebody who loves to paint or be an artist. Like when that person just allows themselves the space to like just do art, God, it's gonna feel good to them. It will feel like their soul is just wide open, so good. And if you can just put yourself in that space, like, and keep remembering the things we're teaching you right now, that's what will make a difference for you. Because I think a lot of times, like it might even be going off in your mind right now as you're listening to this, like, oh, well, I know this person who went off and tried to follow their dream and then it went horribly for them. This is why we're giving this class today, is by applying these techniques and the things that we're teaching you, it's going to allow you to take that step and have the like knowledge to the confidence to continue doing it. And feel really good about the fact that you made that decision and not have all of those feelings of doubt and then sabotage yourself and then all that.
Yeah.
And if you want further support, we absolutely have that. Of course, we always offer one-on-one coaching. You guys know that. One-on-one coaching, courses, programs, all kinds of things, which we have some specifically we'll talk about at the end. But just know that having the stuff we're teaching you right here, right now is going to give you a great foundation to really go and follow what you need to do and not have to have the approval of your family. If you have their approval, bonus points. We give you the tools to do that too.
Well, I think that's the key. Is you don't need to spend energy trying to get it, but you just kind of wrap up here. There are very simple ways to achieve that without overextending yourself. First of all, you don't need approval. That's the third lesson here. You don't really need it. We'll start off with that as a recap. You don't need their approval. But if it feels like it's going to be more successful for you to have it, then go get it with healthy communication. Let them know you love them. Let them know that you appreciate them. Let them know you really have this desire for them to express what they really want to get out. And then just say thanks, but I got to do my thing. And the third thing is make sure you really are compelling in what you're doing, convicted, excited about what you're doing. And if you're not, that's where we can help you. As Steph said, we offer so many different ways to help people in these areas. And one of the biggest is one-on-one coaching.
Yeah. And we offer because we've been through it. We want to give you multiple options on what works for you. Because we understand the process. We've done it.
We've been through it. We've been through every different angle. And especially the people on our team and in our inner circle. And we have coaches of all different angles and styles and modalities. And really, wherever you are, we have a gift, an ability to really assess where you are and then direct you in the right direction. So if it's not our wheelhouse, we still have tons of people that will help elevate you way beyond where you want to go. Mm-hmm. But I'm certain if you're struggling with this weird space of needing more approval to feel good about your vision and your dream, these areas we can help you with very easily. And I think, to tangent from that a little bit, what most people struggle with when they're actually following their dreams and their goals, whether they have approval or not, is to maintain happiness. Yeah. Maintain a state of happiness in a positive outlook, a positive being. Mm-hmm. And so that's something else that we really, really, really stand by helping people with, because the key to life is just whatever you're doing, whatever you're pursuing, maintaining a state of happiness. Even when things feel like they're not working the way you want, you still got to be happy. And so we actually offer a course called Wake Up Happy. And it's something that is so powerful. I mean, we have people every year that jump in this thing and just are I never realized how much I was sabotaging my life, how much I wasn't enjoying life. And I think this is something that we're planning to offer this week, right? This week and month?
Yeah. It's available to you guys just because talking about these topics. Yeah. Wake Up Happy is very helpful at the next steps for that. So basically you get a really short video every day for 30 days of different things that give you action steps and different things you can do out in your daily life to create that inner confidence, the certainty, and it's really a course focused on what we're talking about, giving yourself approval. Because it's one of those things that's so ingrained in us that a lot of times we need 30 days or more of that. Some people do this program over and over and over just to keep locking in more confidence in that area.
That's cool.
So, yeah, I know. It's so fun.
Yeah, I love it.
I like our candlelight, by the way.
It's very romantic.
I didn't turn the lights on because it's fun.
I just want to grab you and but yeah, I really think that the most important thing is knowing that you get to prove yourself, and self-approval brings ultimate happiness. So it's so magical when you really step into this level. And
think about this too. You've got self-approval. Your husband or your spouse has self-approval. Your mom has self-approval. Your dad has self-approval. Your kids have self-approval. Yep. What would that family look like? What would that family be like? In our experience from doing this, it's so freaking good, you guys. I can't even put it into words. From now to where it was before, a billion, jillion, trillion times better. Yep. And everybody will get on board when you lead the way.
It's amazing.
It's up to you.
I love it, man. Yeah. Excited for you all. This is going to be a big cornerstone, big shift in your entire way of approaching life, who you are, who you're going to become. It's going to massively catalyze you. And we're here to make sure that goes even bigger. We want you to always be striving for that next level. That's the key to success in life in every way. So you've got to know how to pursue your big dreams, even when you're 99 years of age. Keep going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So let's do this. Love having you all here, especially if you're on the replay. Good job as well. Doesn't matter when you get here as long as you're here. So we love you so much. Anything else you want to say?
Just proud of you for being here.
Yeah. Self-approval is true happiness. Remember that. let's see who is excited about Wake Up Happy this month. I hope to see y'all in that.
Yeah,
and
me too.
If you're really excited about a deep dive, we also do the one-on-one coaching, so I'd love to see you there and connect with you at a little bit more intimate, personal level. But whatever feels good to you, it's like, let's just do it. Don't hold back. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Cool. All right, y'all. Love you so much, and hope you have a blessed day.
Love you guys. Bye.
Self-approval is true happiness. Feels good.